Hello everyone, good morning. This is my August favorites time, so I'm going to be sharing all of my most used products from the last month. Loads of affordable stuff, guys, because as you probably noticed, Wet n Wild has kind of been like my main brand lately. But I gotta tell you, I got my fall mugs back in rotation. I love this one. This was a Better Homes and Gardens mug from a few years back, and I've got my little pumpkins back here in the background. I'm not even sure if they're majorly in focus. I got a little pink pumpkin over that shoulder. Oh, I got all the fall decor all over the house on Saturday morning. It felt good. Anyway, guys, I'm going to be doing this video full face style because I really feel like I have that much stuff to share. And the one thing that is not makeup related and is by far my most used like other kind of product is this. So this is the spray that goes along with the Balm Dia Bright cream from Sol de Janeiro, and it says Black Amber Plum and Vanilla Woods Brazilian Crush. It is the best smell, like just absolutely amazing. I spray it up high and let it like get on my hair and then down here. Oh my gosh, it's like, I think all the scents that this brand does are really nice, but this is like not so overly tropical and a little bit more toward like the yummy side. Like there's something in this that makes me think edible, but it smells so good and it hangs in your clothes for a really long time. And before the girls go to school, they're like, put that smelly good spray on me. So I spray some of this on them. I've already used it down that much, down to here. I'm gonna need to repurchase for sure. This is so good. I need a bigger size. I thought this was the only size I had access to, the 3 fluid ounce, but there's gotta be something bigger, right? Maybe I'll check the brand's website, but I flat out love this stuff. I love the cream as well. I've got a big size of that, and it's moisturizing. It smells precisely like this, but this has just been like the quicker thing to pop on. But the way I discovered this was just through a little Sephora sample of the Balm Dia Bright cream, and I realized that that scent was absolutely to die for, and I needed any format I could get, and this one's just very like quick and easy to throw on. So what has turned out to be probably my most used foundation over the past month is my Wet n Wild Photo Focus, just the regular matte, I guess you would say, version in soft beige. I have come to realize that this has incredible staying power on my skin. So I really like the dewy version. I think it looks beautiful. I think it's a great take on dewy because it's not over the top. It's really pretty on the skin. But this, just for staying power and the overall flawless look of the skin, I'm so impressed by this. And I mean, this has been in my collection for a long time. It was just something rediscovered more recently when I started digging in on Wet n Wild this past month. So you take out your little like a spatula applicator, frost the cake as we're going to start to say here, and just get some of it everywhere. I really think the tone is on point for me too. Guys, you're not going to believe the way I woke up this morning. I mean, I swear I didn't make this up. This is for real. This is a true fall story. I heard an owl hooting, and it felt like it was right outside the window. It had to be like in the trees that are back behind our house, but it felt so close. And I thought, oh my gosh, isn't that precious? Like, I didn't even mind that it was 4:40 or whatever the time was. Like, can we just arrange this every morning? Like, for you to just be nearby softly hooting? And can we just carry that on throughout fall? So neat. I tell you, you put out fall vibes, you get fall vibes back, baby. So look how pretty this is, honestly. I really never gave this foundation the credit it was due, truly, in the past. But I think its coverage is beautiful. I wouldn't say it's quite full, but it's honestly like just every bit of what I need. I love that amount of evenness, and again, staying power is impeccable. I've worn it so much this past month. Concealer wise, I feel like I've dabbled around a bit more where that's concerned. I've used the Incognito a lot. I've been using my NARS Soft Matte a decent amount, busting out some Catrice True Skin. I am trying out the new Anastasia ABH concealer, which has decided it's going to be bigger than everybody else. It really is a bigger tube. But one of my favorite discoveries of the past month has probably been the One Size concealer in Fair 3. So you get this from Sephora, and it's called, got a great name, what is it? Butter Silk Concealer. So if you like the sound of that. What it took me a few times to realize is how little you need of this stuff. So it feels thin and light, but don't let it fool you. It has a ton of coverage. So it's real easy to go overboard with this. You just need little dots. Treat it like it's Shape Tape, but yet it feels thinner than Shape Tape. So you're like, I don't know how this is gonna go. Is it gonna really cover? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it will. And I have this shade that just ends up being real brightening on me. I really like it. See, look at that. It covers so well, covers and brightens. Might just be that I settled on a really good shade for me, you know, for the fact that I still feel like it's covering under eye darkness while brightening the hell out of my under eye. So when I showed on Instagram that I was doing a little fall decorating, I of course get a few messages that say, already? I feel like I'm late this year, guys. I would have done this like a week ago. But here's the thing. Leaves are falling. Football is being played. Checking the boxes right there. Yeah, some days are still going to be real hot, but where I live, it's turning into fall all around me. We got cottonwood trees around here, and if you know anything about cottonwood trees, you know they shed their leaves promptly at the end of August. Like it really gets going. We got a lot of leaves on the ground and around us. And like the park where we live has a lot of cottonwoods, so there's just leaves all around. It just feels right. It really doesn't matter what you do though. If you want to wait till a week before Halloween, I don't care. Look at that though. Is that not satisfying? That is so brightening, but like it just tackles everything. And I was giving the tiniest dots I could. I mean, I'm gonna have this forever, I feel like, because it's thinner. It's thinner and lighter than Shape Tape. If you don't want to spend this money, can you get by and be super satisfied with e.l.f. Camo Concealer? Sure. But like, I was just really impressed by this and very surprised. Oh my gosh. I have another favorite that is not related to anything. Have you guys seen on Amazon Prime the new Cinderella with Camila Cabello? It is off the charts good. Loved it so much. Like the first time, the girls and Bub was kind of like watching them, and I was doing my decorating, so I didn't really sit down and watch it, but I was like, man, the songs in this are so good because they've infused some other like popular songs in with what I guess are new songs for this movie, and they're like so good, and some of the choreography and everything is just incredible. And Bub's like, it's kind of a different storyline. I think you'd really like it. So we watched it again yesterday, and I really sat down and watched, and I just feel like it's the best thing. There are a lot of different big name actors like coming into it, like Minnie Driver and Pierce Brosnan, and I love the mice when they turn into humans. James Corden is one of them. You've got to watch it, and if you have little girls, you've got to watch it with them too, or little boys, because seriously, I think anybody would get into this. Bubba's like jamming to all the music. He's so funny. This loose powder, the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Translucent, okay? I feel like I just got done saying I love the Believe Beauty loose powder. That's just another one in the mix. I do think that's great, but this one too, for the amount you get and the value, like this big old vat of translucent powder, and I feel like it plays so well with any concealer that I'm using it with, and I love that. It never looks too thick. Granted, I generally don't apply a ton of it, but I feel so set for the day when I use this, and maybe it is like working some magic in combination with the foundation, because I pretty much always use the foundation and this powder together, and I have great staying power the entire day. Affordable, like highly accessible. I know not everybody has a DG or can find all of the things that they want from the Believe Beauty brand at their DG, but Wet n Wild's kind of everywhere. So there we go. I'm all set. It does not look too heavy, but I am definitely matte. This powder is 100% for sure gonna mattify. I'd be lying if I said my most used bronzer wasn't Wet n Wild Wet Shady Beaches. Been using it all the time. I do have like other bronzers I like, but I'm just always grabbing for this one. And I feel like sometimes when I go back and edit, my camera will sometimes pull a little bit warmer than things are in reality. Just a little bit warmer. And I can't really tell until I get into the editing of everything, but I love it. I really do. I feel like I got a suntan. I've been out a fair amount, but I haven't felt like I've gotten much color on my skin at all. But guys, I feel like I may have left a little something out on the coverage stuff. This has been used quite a bit by me and loved so much too. The Flawless Matte CC Cream from Neutrogena. I can direct you to some recent videos where that was applied, but it's a very, very impressive product. Thin, great coverage, great staying power. One of my fave, like, just lightweight products on the skin. So if I'm not doing like foundation like I did today, I might be prone to reach for that. But I had that video I did this past month where it was 4 favorites, 4 lightweight, not lightweight as in coverage, but lightweight as in texture and feel on the skin. My favorite 4 lightweight products. So if you miss that, give it a look, but that's one of them. And it's very, very cool. So as you see, I've got my bronzer all over. Outside of Mellow Wine, I do like Pearlescent Pink as well, but Mellow Wine has been used a lot by me. That's a Wet n Wild blush. Super pretty, matte blush, kind of a berry type vibe. Definitely a great fall blush. But I've also been branching out into this one. This is my Spiced Apple. From e.l.f., the e.l.f. Bite Size Duo. So many bargains in this video, you guys. I love Watermelon. Watermelon's like my tip-top pick. It's got more of a peachy pink blush and like a brighter highlight. But remember when I devoted a whole monochromatic look to this duo? I think it was last year. Well, I'm getting back into it now, so I'm going to use that for this look. So going into the blush side, it's really pretty, but kind of muted, you know? Love it. Love putting on blush. So it's Labor Day today, and I always can't help but think of that song from Tim McGraw. It was Labor Day weekend, I was 17. I bought a Coke and some gasoline. And lo and behold, there's someone on TikTok who's like, the caption said, "This is the only time I can shoot this video." And he must have been 17. And he's standing there at a gas pump drinking a Coke and the song is playing. Okay, so there's the highlight. Oh, I tell you, they nailed these highlights in these duos, particularly Watermelon and Spiced Apple. Spiced Apple just sounds right to be using that. And then most used setting spray, not really any surprise here, but the Natural Finish from Wet n Wild. If you've never tried one of their sprays, and it could be like any of the different scents or whatever, this is just the one called Natural Finish, but the fan of mist that one pump puts out is incredible. I usually do 2, but frankly, one could be enough. I feel it all over my entire face, here to here to here to here. Okay, complexion done. I need some lip balm. I'm going to use my EOS. This is the Honey Apple. All about apples. I'm going to do my brows. I don't think I have a real super favorite. I'm going to use this Wet n Wild retractable. It's good. Like, I remembered a lot of people recommending this. It's got the spoolie on one end, and I feel like the other end, like it's kind of thick, and they're trying to make it be that teardrop shape, which it kind of loses some precision off the point, but sort of keeps the shape. It kind of smells like a crayon box. So I don't love that element, but it fills in my brows pretty good, so we'll use it. It's definitely better than their Browsessive, just literal pencil that you have to sharpen. You know, it's not as dry as that. It's really not too dry. It's not too creamy either. It's just a little bit of an unusual shape that I didn't feel like I really needed. But yeah, I wear this in the shade, I think it's ash brown. Some of you are probably sitting there thinking like, is this girl for real? Is she really using this much Wet n Wild? And I swear, it fascinates me. I'm getting great looks with great staying power, enjoying really every part of them, and you know how I can be with drugstore makeup. Like, it impresses me more to have a drugstore product just completely perform and amaze. That's more impressive to me than spending 25, 30 bucks on something and be like, oh yeah, and guess what, it was good. That's just always been my vibe. Now there will be things that cost a little more that are definitely worth it and are, you know, innovative on some level, and it's great. But there's something about how accessible Wet n Wild is. You know, like I was saying earlier, it's everywhere, and a whole lot of it's under $5. Then I'm just going to use just any random gel. This is the one from Believe Beauty. It's the eyebrow styling gel. It's clear, actually, and it just has this little bitty brush. It doesn't move mountains, but it's good enough. I'm going to take a little bit of my diffused light. I'm going to really be getting more use out of my Hourglass powders. I'm going to take a little bit right up in here. Nice, huh? After that last video I did, David sent me a picture of his used and abused diffused light. For eyes, I'm going to need an eye primer, so I'm just going to use my Milani today, nice and easy. And then for eyeshadow, we're back to Wet n Wild, and I would have to say it's the 10-pan palettes for me. I like the 5 pans as well, probably particularly Walking on Eggshells or Go Commando, which is kind of like a warm, toasty one. I really like those. But the 10-pan, like, those just really fascinate me because they're coming in under $5 and they're so good, and I keep trying different ones and I'm like, oh my gosh, no, this one's really good, this one's good. And it's so hard for me to narrow down favorites because I feel like, okay, my number one favorite for its basicness is the Nude Awakening one. Like, it's got burgundy, which I love. It's got all the neutrals to support and let that burgundy flourish on the eyes. It could be smoky, it could be everyday natural, and it's just like neutral. It's not super warm, it's just, you know, really nice palette. And then I also love Heart and Soul because I like sometimes having the pinks and the kind of like orangey shades, and sometimes like they can be nice partners together using a little bit of each, but you know, even more into the reds and pinks and rich colors. So it's kind of like, well, that one's definitely a favorite too. And then I went and tried one with a forest green in it, and that one stole my heart. That's this one called Lights Off. And this one has some really glitzy shades in it. One that can be a little bit temperamental here. I believe I used this one in a video, did I not? But that forest green is just yummy. I mean, so it's hard to pick a favorite. And then more recently, I picked up this one called Call Me Sunshine, and I've definitely not used this enough to put it in some kind of a favorites category, but you can imagine the look you get here. You get sunny, bright. It's kind of reminding me of that like sunflower themed palette that ColourPop put out. Was it a couple falls ago or last fall? It's all blending together. Something's telling me that if we're going true favorites, I should be using the Nude Awakening one. Maybe I can do a little different take, a little different swing on this. I'm gonna just start out with this shade right here in my crease. So this is the perfect little started out crease color, a little beige. The pigment in these, like, they're just so nice. And I don't know, maybe it takes a month. Maybe it takes a month to really like build a good solid level of familiarity with a brand. Like the repeated use, the trying it different ways and all that. Like, I just feel like I've given Wet n Wild a lot of time and a lot of energy this past month, and I've learned a lot and I've found a lot that I enjoy. Okay, I'm gonna go to this matte cream. I'm just gonna lightly go above. Oops, tap off some excess occasionally. I think I'm going to do a look minus the burgundy, actually, today. That's what I'm going to do. I'm wearing this kind of cool, like, leopard shirt. This came from Target. Maybe I'll stay away from burgundy. Go into this, like, near black brown right up here with a flat brush. I don't think I'm going to do a real complicated look today, gang. I'm just patting that in the outer corner. That's pretty. That's looking super cool. Like, cool toned. Now that it's blended. And then maybe we just give the teeniest dip into that same color with a crease brush. Profusion crease brush, by the way, must have. If you want an E25, I mean, I've pretty much been using this exclusively instead of an E25 lately. And just taking a hint more and really blending the crease, outer crease. Now I'm gonna try a little bit of this shade. This isn't always one that I reach for. Down here in the corner, it looks like a softer sheen, maybe. It's like a very soft beige. It's not super statement making, but it's just kind of blending the edge out, really, of the darkness on the lid. And then I'm going to take my pearly shade right here. This is seriously like the most everyday little look that you can do with this. So easy. And then I bring in my liner that I've been using so much. It's a pencil, actually. This is crazy, but the Milani Stay Put eyeliner in Semi-Sweet. I know I sometimes like to use those thicker liners across the upper lash line, call it lazy liner, because you really, it requires hardly any focus or precision. But this one I'm finding is super easy to use, like just across the upper lash line, or I'm kind of liking the way things look when I take it to my waterline, and it stays here really well. If Milani puts the name Stay Put on something, watch out, because it will. And then I kind of take that same shade and smudge it. Let it get smudgy. Even kind of started doing some smudger tip action here. And then we will take an eyeshadow over all this to keep it nice and soft. So it's such an easy way to just kind of like change up the look, because you guys know I do a light liner in the lower inner rim so often, but I'm loving the way this looks too. And it's just a switch up, you know? You don't have to do it every day, but just try it sometime. Okay, so we dab it then in between the lashes on the actual lash line and then smudge it out. And then also, furthermore, if you take the smudger off, you have a sharpener to make your tip even more precise. But I'm also going to go across the upper lash line. Even though I've got powder eyeshadow here, it's not really struggling. Do you ever wake up like knowing you had a weird dream, but you can't remember exactly what the dream was or anything about it? What's that? Like, what's that about? I woke up and I was like, whoa, crazy night of dreams. But yet I couldn't put my finger on what I dreamed, but I seemed to know that it was weird. Like, I knew it was weird. Maybe I just, like, was still feeling... Here's what happened, probably. I was feeling the emotions that the dream brought about, but I wasn't remembering the content of the dream. But I just knew how it made me feel, and that was lingering. Is that possible? Any dream experts in the house today? The liner is totally on. Then I take a softer brush, so like the small pointed, and we can go into any of these deep shades. I'll use the same brown that I did on the outer part of my lid. And then you just get nice and soft down here. And again, guys, I've used different Wet n Wild palettes in videos recently. I've got a lot of Wet n Wild content on my channel, so I'll link to everything I've done as of late down below if you want to see it. I might also just... Oh my god. I thought one of the kids was waking up. I thought I heard somebody like moaning and groaning. It was actually my stomach. Oh my gosh. Thought I was gonna have to stop this and go, I don't know, console somebody, get somebody water, I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna curl my lashes. This one, this Curl and Volume, I remembered first reviewing it after it was pretty new, and I was like, you know, I don't think this is moving mountains for me here, but it's all right. But I'm liking it a little bit better with age, which didn't surprise anybody. I was using my Grande lash, that little like serum, growth serum. You put it on your lash line before bed. And I put it on last night and this eye like just started watering like crazy. I wonder if a little bit ran into my eye or something. I haven't had any sensitivity to it until last night. The tears were streaming out of me like I was on the last episode of Dawson's Creek or something. Like it was just uncontrollable. Speaking of shows like that, Bub and I need to get back and finish, not Dawson's Creek, but One Tree Hill. One Tree Hill. We came a long way on that show and then kind of branched off and watched some other things. But we're currently rewatching Justified, and we're probably going to be done with that soon. That show is so good, you guys. So good. If you've like gotten through Yellowstone and you're waiting for new Yellowstone, just go watch Justified. Raylan Givens. I tell ya. I think my lashes might be getting a little longer with the Grande lash. I feel like I want to go through and do that treatment, get them nice and long, and then go in somewhere for a lash lift. Doesn't that sound nice? Then they'll really like show up. Get that curl worked into them. I feel kind of bad, like that eye look was so basic. So like nothing to it at all. I don't know, it's just kind of proof that that palette doesn't have to be a ton of frills to look good. Like I still think it looks good and it looks finished and I feel glam, you know? I'm using Thrive Liquid Lash Extensions on the lowers. Owl is still at it if anybody was wondering. You know, a baby owl is called an owlet. That's according to a children's book I read the other day. You ever have days where you feel like you're just absolutely full of it? That's me today. I wanted to comb through the lashes, but I also wanted to remove a little smudge. Just barely hiding out. Ugh. See, my lower lashes have never had a length issue. So sometimes, like if I put mascara on them, they will like tap my skin and be more than I want. One of my most used lip products, outside of my different liners that I really like to use, has probably been this MAC lipstick, and this is called the Luster Glass. What did they call it? Shine Sheer or something like that. It makes me think of the Cream Sheen formula, but a little maybe slightly less opaque, but the shade is called Business Casual. I also have a color called PDA. I was gonna say VIP. This is Business Casual, this is PDA. More reddish with that one, but this is the one I've used the most. It's just a very me color and a very fall color, so just behold. You know what this is? It feels so much like the texture of the L'Oreal Color Riche Shine formula. And those were so great for being pigmented. Having the color, like they feel the same. And it has kind of like a, this doesn't maybe have quite the gloss-like finish on the lips, but the same sheerness level. See how there's a little sheerness? But they needed more like neutral, kind of toasty, off the beaten path colors like this, didn't they? I think so. This was the forgotten color from that range, and MAC put it out. I love it. I love that color. What else do I need to do for this look? I kind of feel like my cheeks got really shiny from that highlight. So what I might, jeez, the sigh of relief when what you drop didn't break. I'm doing a little more diffused light right here. Just because I don't know, it's bugging me just a little bit right there on the top of the cheek. And then I think I'm going to just do a dab of that blush over it. And this is matte, by the way. The blush is matte in this Spiced Apple. Okay, there we go. So my friends, that's my look using all of my monthly favorites. So much affordable stuff in here. I mean, was the one, it wasn't quite an all drugstore look because I used that Patrick Star One Size concealer. And I guess I threw on my Hourglass powder, which really hasn't been used a ton by me over the past month, except sort of more in a touch-up mode. I'll use like ethereal light or sometimes the diffused light kind of touching up. I have a whole video about that if you're interested, but thank you guys so much for watching. I really enjoyed doing this video. It's fun to use things that you love, and I know there are some people who will log on and be like, you know, they're looking for a freaking masterpiece. They're looking for an eye masterpiece with whatever palette's being used. And this is just, I love putting makeup on, but I still enjoy simplicity. I still enjoy the, you know, the beauty of neutrals and basic easy shades and just seeing how nicely they come together and seeing the range that's within one palette, you know, that I might have thought, gosh, this is always going to give me, you know, ultimately a burgundy look, but no, it doesn't have to. Like, I get joy out of stuff like that. So yeah, sometimes the looks are going to be simple, and I hope that's cool because I like the complicated, I like the simple too. So thank you guys again for your time. Hopefully some owls will wake you up in the morning, and I will see you again very soon. Love you. Bye.